Hello, I'm Steven, the calculator guy, and I'm in a new room, and my beard fell off. So what happened? Well, my daughter moved into my office, so now I'm in here, my room, and my wife's room, but she's not here right now. And I tried to make my beard short and symmetrical because I have a wedding in a few months and I want it to grow out and be symmetrical because I trimmed it a few whiles ago and I messed it up. But that happens, and so now I'm a baby face again. Anyways, we're talking about DeFi Chain today. What is DeFi Chain and why are we interested in it? Well, we're interested in it because of this stuff. Like, do you see these APRs? They're nice. So, you know, like Tesla DUSD, we're looking at 104% APR. APR, that means 180% APY. So, we're going to talk about how to access these APRs in a second. But before we do that, we need to understand something about this chain, right? So it's a decentralized chain. Effectively, you run the chain from your own computer, which I'm sure supports the decentralization of the whole ecosystem. I guess it's kind of like Monero in that aspect. Like you're literally running the chain from your computer. And these assets, even though they look like pure synthetics, are not pure synthetics. So like DTesla, DQQQ, DGME, all of these assets, they're minted using an oracle. So they're minted at the price that they are when they're minted, but they don't stay at that price. So like Tesla, maybe Tesla's like $1,100 today. I don't know, I haven't checked. When it's minted, it's gonna be minted at that price. But then supply and demand on chain is going to affect that price. So if there's more supply and demand, or if there's a difference in supply and demand on chain than there is off chain, then the prices are going to be different. They're going to be variable. So you do have to keep that in mind. That's one of the things that makes this investment a little bit riskier, because I think there's like I don't know, 5 to 20% premium on a lot of these assets that you might pay. I mean, there's some assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum which are going to be spot on because of the arbitrage opportunities. So they're going to be spot on almost all the time. Silver, surprisingly, is like right on the money. Gold is like $10 off. GLD, that is. Apple is like 10% off. Tesla was like 18% off. So like keep that in mind. It's important to know that they're minted at Oracle price, but then supply and demand on chain changes their underlying price. And you know, that's important. So anyways, we still want these juicy APRs and APYs. So what do? Well, first we have to actually get the application. If we want to do this in a centralized way with KYC and the ability to do like referrals, if you like that whole sort of thing, you can use Cake DeFi to do that. Cake DeFi is a great application. I'm not going to shill it. I'm not going to give a referral code because I try to be as DeFi as possible, and KYCing is not really DeFi. Now there will be some apps that I KYC for. Yield Nodes is one of them, but for the most part, when there's a decentralized option or alternative, that's where I'm going to be. And the decentralized option actually has better yields, so of course I'm going to be there. All right, so what do? Right, we go over to, DeFi Chain works. Click download, just go to the top and click downloads on DeFiChain.com and choose a download that's suitable for you. So for me, it was the Windows because I'm using Windows, but it might be Mac or Linux depending on your own particular operating system. When you download that, what you're going to do is you're going to get a file, like an executable, and you click on the executable, and that'll start the download process. I recommend doing it on whichever drive you have the most space on. So I have a solid-state drive and a hard drive. It didn't work on my solid-state drive, even though I had plenty of room. More than 4 gigs, which is the minimum. It only worked on my hard drive. I don't know why. I probably tried to download it 3 different times. I also tried on my laptop unsuccessfully. I finally got it to work on this computer. Maybe it's just luck, maybe it's the nodes, maybe it's just the time of day. Who knows? If it doesn't work for you, I recommend just trying again. Try in a place that you feel you have the most space. That's what ended up working for me. Instead of using my solid state drive, I used my hard drive, and it worked. I wanted to use my solid state drive because I thought it would load a little bit faster, but you know, you get what you get. So anyways, once you get that running, right, you need to onboard some funds. So how do you onboard funds onto the DeFi chain? Well, you need to, right now, later on there'll be other ways to do this. I was talking to someone who works with DeFi, and they were saying like they're looking at ways to bridge Bitcoin directly as Bitcoin. They're also looking at ways to bridge some stable assets. But right now, the only way that I know to do it is using the DeFi token. So how do you get the DeFi token? Is it here? No. Here. here. No. Where is it? Oh, I need to go back. No. Yeah, okay. So using any of these centralized exchanges, Bittrex, Bitrue, DFX, LA Token, KuCoin, Transact, Hotbit, Who, or Easy Crypto in New Zealand or Australia, you can go on there, purchase DFI, and then send the DFI to your DFI wallet. So I did KuCoin. I use KuCoin. I've done some videos about KuCoin before. It's just my go-to, but also Hotbit, Bitrue, and Bittrex are probably the 3 other biggest ones that could be utilized in this case. And they're really easy to sign up with, in my opinion. Okay, so you go on those centralized exchanges, you send some stable coins, you send whatever you want to, you swap it for whatever the asset that swaps with DFI is. In this case, I sent USDC from KuCoin over to, I sent USDC from Coinbase to KuCoin, swapped USDC for USDT, and then bought my DFI with USDT. You can also buy it with Bitcoin if you want to, BTC. So once I had it, I had to make a DeFi address. So how do you do that, right? You click on this button right here, receive, right? Because you need a receiving address. And once you click the receiving address, you'll get this. You can click new address, give it a name, right? And then when you create it, what it will do is it'll create an address right here with an address that you can copy. So you copy that, paste it into your sending. Make sure that you're sending to the DeFi chain. With KuCoin, it'll tell you which chain. It's the only one you can select. You can't mess it up. But I'm not sure about the other exchanges. So you'll send it here. It'll take like 5 minutes. It's pretty fast, to be honest. I've withdrawn from KuCoin before, and it's taken hours. So I was pretty surprised by the 5-minute wait. It was quick, relatively. So once you have DFI, you can swap your DFI for the tokens you need for liquidity, right? So in my case, I did gold. Gold has one of the lowest yields, actually, but I just really wanted exposure to gold. So you can see my GLD DUSD right here. So the way you do that, right, you go to the DEX, you select the token. So first you probably want DFI, and you want your DUSD. Oops. 1 second, I have a little boy talking to me. You want to do what? You want to watch Blaze? Okay, 1 second, buddy. Yeah, so DFI to DUSD, for example. DUSD. DUSD. Right, we got 1. Okay, so like, let's say you were splitting this. I'm probably going to keep in, I would probably want to keep in like at least 1 DFI token for gas, maybe even 2. Maybe I even want exposure to DFI token because I'm bullish on the ecosystem or the chain, right? So I've been keeping 10 in there just to have it because I don't know, who knows if gas might change in the future. It's been negligible recently. Like my first transaction was like $8 for gas, but every transaction after that was virtually nothing at all, or nothing at all actually. So I'm keeping some gas in there just in case. I don't want to get stuck there, right? And I like to have a bigger buffer than I need. So maybe I do 2 because I want to keep 10. So I know that I'm going to use 2 DFI for that. So then I would continue and confirm. Now here's the important thing. When you do this, you have to wait for that block to be hashed out. So that transaction is now waiting to be hashed, right, by the miners. And when it's finally, or the validators, when it's finally hashed, then you can do another transaction. That's sort of the annoying thing about this chain. It's not as super speedy as other chains. So you continue, you hash it out, and then you just have to wait, right? And you'll see it here, basically. You'll see your balance, and you just wait, maybe come back in 5 minutes. And once your balance changes, then you can do your second transaction. So once you have your DUSD, once you have your gold, then you can go to liquidity. You can click add liquidity. So you can see DUSD, gold, and right. It's a continue with my $1. I create that liquidity, and that's it. There's no staking, right? You don't have to stake your liquidity. You just create the liquidity and it's done. You're earning yield. And one of the really cool things, I have a screaming baby, I'll be right back. One of the really cool things is that you get rewarded multiple times per minute. So depending on the hash rate, depending on how fast these blocks are being mined, you may get your rewards 3 times in 1 minute. Now I could show you by clicking transactions and including rewards, but just takes a long time to load. So this may take like 4 minutes to 7 minutes just to load the transactions and show how many times I was rewarded in a particular time span. So it's cool to look at, definitely. I do wish this was faster. Maybe it's my internet connection because I'm a few rooms over from my Wi-Fi, but you can see it, which is cool. And so your balance updates regularly, and so like, hey, you can compound as much as you want, which is cool. So turning the APR into APY really isn't that bad. And DeFi, it has been okay with the chart, but no, there's no but. So it's good. I like it. It's been nice. I'm not really scared of being exposed to it for a little while. I probably compound maybe 2-3 times a week, and that's enough for me to get a decent APY. Okay, so things to know, right? One of the things to know is that you need to synchronize the whole chain before you can do anything, and that takes a while. If you close out of this and wait a few days and then open it back up, you need to synchronize everything you missed. So it behooves you to have this open as much as possible. You're supporting the network, you're supporting the chain, and you're saving yourself time later if you want to use it. So that's all things that are important to know, in my opinion. Offboarding is pretty simple. You just have to convert everything to DFI and then send the DFI to an exchange, then convert that. In the future, you'll be able to convert it to Bitcoin and send it to your Bitcoin wallet if you want to do that, or send Bitcoin to an exchange if you want to do that. And you should also be able to do like a DUSD to some other chain or some other exchange, or maybe some other native assets. So that's on the roadmap. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, you guys. So you can start getting those juicy yields. I do recommend checking the premium. So again, silver has a very low premium, gold has a medium premium, Tesla had a huge premium, and premium just means that, in my opinion, it just means that there's a lot of room for volatility against what the actual asset's trading at. So, I mean, it's been in our favor for the most part. If you've been on chain, like, one of these assets may go down, but the D asset stays a little bit higher than that. So, I don't really know how to play it or how to arbitrage it yet, but, that's why I've been staying with more stable assets like gold and silver. Silver, again, pretty much 1-to-1. Gold, it's like 190, even though GLD is like 180, so it's $10 more. I think it's like a 5% difference, 5 to 7% difference. And that's it. So anywho, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video on the DeFi chain. The DeFi chain has more to offer than just liquidity pools. I'm still learning though, and I don't want to teach anything that I don't fully understand yet. So I'm working on it. I'm also attempting to talk to as many members of the team as possible to get a better understanding. Cake DeFi is cool if you want to do the centralized version of that. You're not going to get a referral code from me. I'm going to be as DeFi as possible. But it's a cool platform, and I know a lot of people who use it and they like it. So, I'm not going to knock it. It's just, different ways to do things. Yeah, if you wanted to have known about this a while before, we talked about it on the Discord and on the Patreon. Of course we did that. I did a video on it maybe a while ago. It's just easier for me to hash out quick videos and like toss them on the Patreon than it is for me to do a YouTube video. You can see that my house can be hectic all the time, but I'm trying. So anyways, if you want to contact me, if you want to message me, if you want to do live voice video chats with me when I'm actually have my office hours, then join the Patreon. I'd love to have you. And if you just want to hang out with us but don't want to pay, just join the free part of the Discord. We hang out there too. All those things are available. We had an AMA today with Friction Finance, and it was so good. I'm actually excited to post that video soon and even talk more with them, because I'm really excited about what they're doing. All right, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of all of your days. Goodbye.